Xbox, I have to imagine, just wants a win. Not a win with an asterisk, not a win, well, if you like this, not a win if you like Bethesda games. Yes, you'll forgive Starfield's problems, or we're patching it, nearly a year later, and this, that, and the, like, they just want to fucking celebrate something. And they can celebrate this, and I've seen them doing tweets and stuff, but again, it's the same argument of like, yeah, you can do it, but there are these other reviews that are there. And there's always negative reviews, I know, but I feel like this is a very interesting divide of like, I'm going to let it off the hook for the things I don't like because I loved this so much. And other people being like, I love that stuff, but I can't let it off the hook for this.
What's up, Paris?
Yo, to what Greg is saying then, and I'm asking Greg directly.
Fucking bring it on.
Then what is the games that we know of? What's the game then? That where they just get the pure win. What do you think that game's going to be?
And that's my same question, right? Like, I don't think you find that game through the acquisitions that they've been making. I think maybe you thought that Bethesda Game Studios were going to give that to you with whatever their next big thing is, and maybe that still is going to happen with Elder Scrolls 6, or maybe you consider that to be the case with Starfield. But
I definitely, well, no, because that'd be the same argument, right? Where I think Starfield again was so polarizing, and not whatever. But I think Elder Scrolls 6 has to be a fucking slam dunk. Fallout 5 has to be a slam dunk, but we're talking so far down the line. Now you look and it's like, I'd like to say Indiana Jones, right? But like,
we'll see.
Will it? Like, you know what I mean? This is a conversation we've had on the movie side of Kind of Funny of like, well, do people give a shit about Indiana Jones? They make the movies. It doesn't seem like it, but this is a game. Will it be different? People want an Uncharted. I don't love Indiana Jones, right? I enjoy the films fine. I've never been an indie guy. Like, I'm dressing up like them, but the game makes me incredibly excited. Yes. Fuck yeah. Let's go.
I think my thing too with this is that Hellblade 2, based on the way people are, based on the Metacritic, based on the way people are talking about it, I think if you are Microsoft, if you're Xbox and you acquired Ninja Theory in 2017 and look at how people received Hellblade 1, you don't look at the Hellblade 2 reviews and go, oh, we didn't expect this. Like, this is the exact same way it went with Hellblade 1 of a lot of people being like, oh, man, this is art. This is incredible. This is all this stuff. And then all the other people being like, yeah, I don't vibe with the combat. Oh, man, this is different. And I think you're probably going to see the same in terms of what the commercial success of it is. I don't think Hellblade 2 is going to sell gangbusters. I think it's going to do probably a little bit better than what Hellblade 1 did. And yeah, as Microsoft, you're making an acquisition like Ninja Theory. You're making acquisitions like Double Fine. I think you look at any of these studios that are of that ilk and go, make something that's mainstream, that's going to hit with everybody. You're fucking up the acquisitions. You're fucking up the consolidations, right? Mm-hmm. Like I also think you're making a worse games industry if you're converting these very special independent studios into something that are going like studios that are feasibly going to be hit machines for you or aren't going to exist because they can't be hit machines for you.
And so you really hope, right, that this Activision Blizzard spins up the way they want it. And Call of Duty's it, gets $1 gajillion. It's the biggest entertainment launch, Diablo's latest season, everybody's saying Diablo's back, even though I never thought it was gone, but doesn't matter what I think. Now everybody's putting up headlines that it's back, and you hope that expansion this summer, right, is fucking amazing. You hope that Starfield expansion, Shattered Space, that I can't fucking wait for because I've been re-addicted to Fallout, or Starfield. I have so much to tell you about my fucking my trials and tribulations out there. Me and Barrett tearing up the universe, you know what I mean? Don't worry, we cleared his husband's name, Mike. Anyways, well, is that going to be the one of this is incredible? Fallout 76, they got another expansion coming. Is that going to be something like these can be those things? But again, like they just want to win. They just want the fucking dominoes to fall. And like I'm with you 1,000% for the record of like yes, when you buy Ninja Theory, you're going to expect this. When you buy Double Fine, you're going to expect that. Don't fuck it up. Don't get in there and muck it up and go do this. But it is that idea of what I got written in here, right, from Marky Johnson, that Blessing said it perfectly. The problem with is consolidation, particularly from Microsoft. They've not been good stewards of these studios, right? Like, I just worry about Microsoft coming down, crunching on them and changing what they are and making them do it and eliminating people.
To me, it seems like they haven't crunched on anyone. They've given everyone the freedom to make whatever they want.
I'm sorry. I combine 2 points there. I combine 2 points there. I'm saying that my point is I'm worried that the fact that the games haven't produced the way they haven't been hit makers, that then Microsoft gets involved and fucks up Xbox's vision.
It's an interesting place of we're ending this review. We're on this review to talk about this game, and now we're talking about Xbox in the big picture. It's always funny we get back to this, right? Of like the mixed feelings of Xbox. It's wild that we're here again. But I mean, you bought an art house studio, as Blessing said, to make art. They've done that. You've elevated their tech within the mocap studio, the audio range, to provide them probably a whole lot of money to buy all this stuff and given them the power to do this, right? Should we not be celebrating what they just made, right? Now the issue is, well, it's not a hit. It's not good enough. Well, now we're just getting in the shareholder territory of like, well, then you should be making Fortnites. You should be making Call of Duties. And Phil and the team have fought hard not to do that. But there will be a moment, if that's what we want, they're going to turn and do that, because I could easily look at this team and say, make me Uncharted, figure it out. And they'll do that, right? Hey, Machine Games, make me more Wolfensteins and Dooms. Do it. You know, like eventually there will be a moment where if that's what you want, that's what's going to happen here. But they've fought so hard to keep all these so far. I mean, we should be celebrating that in my mind. Unless you want Fortnites, and they haven't made Fortnite
You look
yet.
at me like I want it.
No.
I'm looking at you and I'm saying, yeah, they fought this hard to get there. Where's the fucking win? That's what I just mean, and I say this out of fear for them. I like the vision Phil and team have talked about for so long. I love Xbox being everywhere.
And this isn't a win, though?
Huh?
This isn't a win. A stunning visual, incredible game that pushes the medium forward. That's not a win. Like, I guess the flip side of this is like, why aren't we celebrating this as a win? You bought Ninja Theory to make another Hellblade. You gave them all the money. They produced something incredible in front of all of our eyes. Maybe it didn't hit on the combat and gameplay side, but they pushed this forward. That's what you wanted, right?
Yeah,
that's
Greg,
a win.
answer
here.
it.
No, I'm just.
I think it's so simple. No, I mean, yeah, they pushed like 2 out of 4 aspects forward.
I get that, but
that's
like,
a 50% win
if we're
ratio.
not-
It sucks.
We have to say to ourselves
Did
right
the
now, as
Order
gamers,
1886
if
push Sony to a different
if
level?
this isn't a win here, then you're just clearly saying to the world, just make Fortnite. Like, if we're not going to celebrate these moments, then you're looking at them going, shit, man, like, you did this, you elevated that with that studio, and you kept them open and alive with all your money, but you know what? Not good enough. You're telling me they're not going to look at you and go, okay, well, it's time to make that.
This game did not elevate gaming. It elevated visuals, yeah, 1,000%.
That Xbox Series X is the only time you've ever looked at that Xbox Series X and said, damn, I didn't know this console could fucking do that.
Now, for the record, I only turn on my Xbox Series X twice a year, so there's a lot of times where like, I didn't know it could do that.
Right now, this is near the top. You might bring up 2 other games, but like this is clearly one of the big 3 poster childs for this generation of pushing this console forward. To prove to me why I need this console, this is one of those marquee titles.
This episode's brought to you by BetterHelp. We all carry around different stressors, big and small. I'm currently planning a wedding, so I know all about that. But when we keep them bottled up, it can start to affect us negatively. Therapy helps you find your strengths so you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. You can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace, and it can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist at any time for no additional charge. Celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit BetterHelp.com/kindafunny today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny.
Wow.
And that's a win.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, please
Can I
go,
jump in on this? Because I love this back and forth that both of you are having. But that's
We lost focus on you.
Bring it back to last year when Phil came on XCast. See, this is the thing. With Arcane, it sounds like they didn't intervene enough, but then you say you don't want them to. So what's the balance? That's kind of where they have to figure it out. Like with Ninja Theory, to me, I think Ninja Theory made the game they wanted to make. I don't think Xbox jumped in and told them to do anything.
100%.
This is what they wanted to do, which is what we want. But then at the same time, there's the business side of it to where, all right, you got to make a profit. You got to have revenue. What games are supposed to do that? Which ones don't? So they have to figure out that balance, I think.
100%.
And to Mike's point, we don't just want Fortnite. We want
100%.
I am happy this game exists, warts and all. We need these kind of games to go along with the Fortnites and the Call of Duties of the world. So for that aspect of it, absolutely, I think this is a win for Xbox. It shows that they are not afraid to have these type of games come out. They're not afraid for this game to have, hell, what is it, a 5-6 year development cycle or whatever it was, right? That the end result, sure, it may not have certain things it didn't do to push the industry forward, but from a visual standpoint, to what Mike is saying, it's the best looking game I've seen on the Xbox Series X. This is a game they can push out to the front and go, this is what this hardware can do. This is where we're trying to take visual fidelity. I'm sure the coalition is looking at this and going, well, goddamn, we better make sure the Gear 6 looks this good, because Ninja Theory just showed you what Unreal 5 can do on this console. So just on that aspect alone, I think this is a win for Xbox, because they can use this to show what Xbox Game Studio games can do, whether you think it's a 10 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10.
I'm going to be the person that's on both sides. But I do think that you guys are both right in some instance, right? I think this game is considered a win if you're looking at the Xbox that acquired Ninja Theory went, hey, we like what you did with Hellblade, and we like what you've done as a studio. We like what you're doing with technology, and seeing them take the time, put out this product. I think you look at the split nature of it in terms of reception. I think you look at the current Metacritic. I think you expect how many people are going to show up to it and buy it, right? Which isn't going to be like the craziest number of people, but I think the fans and I think enough people will probably show up and buy it and have like a regular reception in terms of what it does commercially. I think all of that is a win, but I also think that when I say it's a win, I am talking about Xbox pre this last year.
This is the point I'm driving at.
As far as what the video game industry has turned into, as far as how money is tightened up, as far as all the layoffs and studio closures, in the last few weeks, the news stories with Xbox and Microsoft have been that, it seems like Microsoft as an entity is putting way more scrutiny on Xbox post Activision Blizzard acquisition as they did pre. I think pre Activision Blizzard acquisition, Xbox would have looked at this and went, yeah, fuck, you guys did great. Like, you guys did exactly what we wanted you to do. I think right now, Microsoft's looking at them and is talking the way that Greg is right now, which is, no, we need a fucking like hit though. That is why you look at Arcane Austin and Tango Gameworks. I think that's how you lose them, is they go to Xbox and go, hey, get the margins up, close down some people. I think right now you need to, as Xbox, prove to Microsoft that you have big money makers, you have big hits, you have studios that can produce that kind of thing. And I think any studio that isn't poised to be able to produce that kind of thing, I think they are in danger, not necessarily because of Phil, Sarah, and that team looking at like, oh man, we can't do
their bosses.
Yeah, I think it's their bosses. I think it's the Satya Nadellas of the world being like, yeah, but Hellblade didn't sell the way that we need it to. It didn't sell like a Call of Duty. It didn't sell like how PlayStation's doing God of War and Spider-Man over there. I think that's kind of where the split nature of it is.
100%.
Yeah. We're in an interesting place for Xbox because we don't celebrate their wins enough. But then when we do get a win, we say it's not good enough. And so there's this weird dynamic shift of Xbox right now where they are purchasing these studios, trying to nurture and elevate them. And when we get a hi-fi rush, we celebrate and it's great. We get a Redfall and it's the worst thing on planet Earth. And they're in this constant ebb and flow. And now we get a game that probably, in my mind, should be celebrated. This game should be like, hey, you did the damn thing, great job. But Xbox isn't going to be seen like that because it's got an 81 on Metacritic. And they're going to go, oh, man, that's just another mid game from Xbox. Unbelievable, right? When it's like, hey, that's another great game that should be added to the Xbox catalog that can justify your Game Pass purchase, maybe a console sale, right? It's just bolstering the team. And they're coming out with these games where, like we said so many times, you're hoping for the domino to fall, but like the dominoes keep missing. But there's wins in those dominoes. You have a Forza Horizon 5. That's a Game of the Year contender. You have a Microsoft Flight Sim that changes technology as a whole using cloud. You got games like Halo Infinite, which, sure, they didn't stick the landing in live service, but goddamn, that game was fucking good, right? And we didn't give that enough love. You look at Psychonauts 2. That's a great game under their umbrella. You go down the list, it's like there's good games in here that should be celebrated, but every time they miss, it's like, oh, damn, Phil, you guys suck at this. You're never going to get it right. It's a weird place to be, man. I get it. I'm on both sides, right? I love Sony. I love Nintendo. I love Xbox. It's just a weird place
PC
to be
though,
like,
right?
PC sucks. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's like, hey, that's where we're at, you know? That's
Fuck you, Paris.
I like my PC.
Something we didn't talk about on this, because I know we kind of hey, it looks great on the Series X. We know it looks great on PC. I played it on the Series S. Looks great.
Yeah.
Plays great. I mean, it's definitely, again, another W for them. The little box that was able to play this game at a great visual fidelity. So anybody on the Series S will have no issues playing Hellblade 2.
Tell you, it was a shocking experience when I went on the road and I took my Series S with me and I plugged in and played Starfield. They're like, oh, right, this doesn't do 60. Whoa, fuck.
That's crazy.
I've been feasting my eyes on Starfield since that patch I got there. I was like, oh, damn, fuck.
I split my time between Xbox Series X at home and then playing at work. I'm playing on my portable or my gaming laptop. And I can't give you the specs right now. I don't even know what the fuck brand that gaming laptop is. All I know is that
Chinatown. It's off the street.
All I know is
I'm
that
not gonna say what it is
that
now.
shit was barely holding together. But it got the job done though. Like it ran the game. But I was like, man, I can't wait to play this on Xbox Series X when I get home because it looked really good on console.
It was one of the few times as an Xbox gamer where I have smiled from ear to ear and I've been wowed by playing an Xbox game studio saying, damn, this shit is awesome. Good for them, right? I do that all the time with PlayStation games. I turn on Uncharted. I go, God damn, this is the best. I turn on Last of Us. This is rocks. I turn on
You
the
refuse
Robo
to put on
Dino game.
Helldivers, though.
I'm like, yo, this game rocks, right?
Dino,
On Xbox, I finally get that. I'm like, yo, this rocks. You got a talented studio. Let's nurture them. Let's give them the money to back this up. If they want to tell freaky deaky stories, you tell those freaky deaky stories. If you want to look at them and tell them make a mainstream goddamn banger, you tell them to do that. But this studio should be protected and like celebrated. And I hope that 6 months down the line, they're not getting canned, right? Because that would
They
suck.
usually give them a year. They'll port it to PlayStation, then they'll cancel it.
Mike, I'm celebrating them. I think it's a win.
Thank you, homie. It's a win.
Let me get 2 questions before I get out of here from the super chats. All right, Chris wrote in and said, I've never finished Hellblade 1, but don't want to risk spoilers and such from Hellblade 2. How much does it matter to play Hellblade 1 first? Thank you. I mean, in terms of the story, not much. There's a great recap that they do at the very, very front that plays and tells you the whole story to give you what you need. But
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, you also just get to it, Chris. Like, why? Just go. Do it.
Yeah, just finish it. It's the same kind of game.
Yeah. And then final one, CJ says, this is something we touched on that they've said they're working on another game, the next game or whatever, what this one is. CJ says, and we'll go down the line, Mike to me, do you want a third game? And if so, what to change?
I do not want a third game with Senua. I would like them to do something different. I think Project Mara is supposed to be some weird psychological horror game.
Awesome.
I would like to see that. If that's what that truly is, I'm into that.
Paris?
I have to hedge. I both, because I do want a third game for Hellblade, but I also want to see them do a Project Mara-esque something different as well. I'll answer it this way. I would love to see them do something else first and then come back to Hellblade. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Bless.
I hope we don't get another one. I almost didn't want a second one. The only reason why I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it, is because they seem like they wanted to make the second one. But I still think that Hellblade 1 is a standalone type thing, and Hellblade 1 plus 2 as a standalone thing works. I don't need any more of this specific story.
Yeah, I'm like Ninja Theory as a studio, right? I haven't connected with these last 2 games, but again, I do think that they are technical powerhouses and do some amazing stuff. So I want them to go and do whatever they want to do next. I'd be way more interested in a Project Mara, right? If they were going to come back to Hellblade, I would want to see them go, listen, we're not the best at combat and puzzles, so let's remove one of them, make it just cinematic. How do we do a more walking sim, whatever the hell kind of thing? And fix that one.
Or they hire the Cocoon team to come in and do the puzzles. And How about that?
Then you'd be bitching that they changed what the DNA of Hellblade is.
You're
know what
right.
I mean?
See, you can't win.
Can't win. Don't stop making games, everybody. There's no way to win.